Well, hello there. Welcome. Today we have a look at the Pelikan Jazz Noble, and these will be my first impressions of this pen. I haven't had it for a long time, and I have to tell you this is about a $14 pen, so it's not expensive. I would put it in the price range of other pens like the Lamy Safari, the Pilot Metropolitan. So I would expect this pen to perform similarly to Pilot Metropolitan, Lamy Safari, which actually means that that's a pretty high standard because those are really excellent pens. But I haven't seen this one before until quite recently. I thought it looked really good, especially the, whoops, almost dropped it. The silver, I thought it almost looks like it could have been like a brushed steel finish, but it's not. It's just silver, but nevertheless, it looks really good. So we'll have a closer look at the pen, and I'll do a writing sample, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But I have an ink in here, and I think what I'm going to do is we'll test this ink, but I'm going to probably clean it out and ink it up with something different. And so we will do a writing sample with two different inks with this pen. All right, let's move over to the paper. All right, let's have a closer look at the Pelikan Jazz Noble. At first glance, I would say that this is a very decent looking pen. I like the look of it. I like the silver with the chrome trim. It looks pretty nice. You do notice that this is not a very thick barrel, so one would assume that this section also wouldn't be quite thick, so it would probably be slimmer. When we take a closer look at it, the clip on the cap is, I suppose, very it has the hint of the traditional Pelikan clip, widening out here at the bottom. This is spring loaded, which is really nice. I mean, it doesn't look necessarily like that, but it's got such a nice smooth feel to it. It will definitely go on securely, and this is not going to break easily. It feels really high end, high quality. We have a chrome trim center band. See if we can have a closer look. It says Pelikan and nothing at the back. Finial at the top, nothing there. It's just angled in line with the clip, which makes a nice line going down there. So that's nice. Nothing at the bottom, just traditional cigar shaped over there. It's a snap cap. That's a very satisfying click. It goes on very securely. Nothing is moving around there. We uncap the pen, and we have this very shiny sort of chrome trim section here. And the section is also, it has a sort of an indent in the middle, which means that it's quite a thin section. So if you're someone with larger hands, I don't know how comfortable that would be for you. The nib, if we have a closer look, you can get some focus there. It has a Pelikan logo, nothing else on there. And at the back it says number 6. It's a very nice looking nib, I must say. I mean, it's very plain. There's nothing fancy to it, but I like this kind of, clean look on any pen. And just the barrel there, you can see it's sort of a You could mistake it for a brushed steel, but it's just silver. It looks very good nonetheless. Of course, the section is going to attract fingerprints like nothing, but I don't think that would bother me. Barrel unscrews, and the threads, we have metal on metal. Yes. Standard international ink cartridge, which I'm surprised to see is actually going on empty. So I'm thinking now, I was going to use this ink, but it's probably quite dry already. So while it's already dried out, basically, I think what I'm going to do for the writing sample, I'll ink it up with something else. I'll clean out the pen quickly and I'll ink it up with something else. What I had in here though was Diamine Celadon Cat, and it's not the best combination of ink and pen and perhaps paper that I've been using, I don't know. But what I have found was that it's almost as if the ink does not want to go on the paper. I don't know if you've experienced something like this. And so you get a very inconsistent line. You get a line where you have decent wetness, and then all of a sudden it's dry, and it's almost as if nothing is going on the paper, and then it's wet again. I have a feeling that it's the ink, because I've experienced that in a different pen with the same ink. So I think my suspicion is that Celadon Cat is an ink that probably you want to find the best combination of pen and paper for that ink. It is an ink that I absolutely love, so no problem there. If I have to, find a way to make the ink work, then I'm very happy to do that. But for this pen, the nib, by the way, is a medium. Alright, let me clean out this pen quickly and I'll be back in a second, and then we can ink it up with something. I haven't decided yet. I'll think about it while I clean it out, and we'll do a writing sample when I'm back. Alright, and I'm back. All clean, and I have to say this is probably the quickest that I've ever been able to clean a pen. So I gotta tell you, if you're looking for an ink that's going to clean out easily from any pen, it's Celadon Cat, because I flushed it literally once and the nib and feed was clean. I flushed out the cartridge. I just use a normal syringe, one flush, and it was clean. This is black plastic. Right, so I think we can ink this up, and I've been thinking which ink to use, and I think, to be fair, since this is a Pelikan, it's fair to use Pelikan ink, right? And now I have Royal Blue and Brilliant Black, and I'm not sure which one I want to use actually. Which one would you use? I like black because it's a pretty standard ink and you can use it anywhere. So, but then I think the blue always gets neglected then, right? So maybe we'll ink this one up with blue. So since we don't use blue that much, okay. Barrel is getting away from me there. So what I have to do is I don't have a new cartridge or a converter for this pen, so I just reuse these plastic cartridges. They last forever, and you can just clean them out, and I just use a basic syringe. Now I know you get syringes, you get the special ones with the a blunt needle. I don't have that, so and these are easy to I just purchase it at the pharmacy or somewhere. So just have to be careful with a sharp needle not to tattoo yourself, basically, which is something that I have done in the past. But okay, I think that's enough. put that back in there. And let's put away the ink. Cap don't want to go back on for a second. And I got the ink on my fingers, which does not matter at all. Right, Pelikan Royal Blue ink. I imagine this might take a second to flush through the feed. Sorry for the background noise, that's a plane overhead and there's absolutely nothing I can do about that. Let's see, not coming through yet. Ah, there we go. That was pretty quick. Alright, so I think this pen is ready for a writing sample, and we'll be using Pelikan ink for that. So I think that's a fair way to review this pen. Alright, I do apologize. You might be able to see some ghosting on this paper, but I'm running out of paper, so I need to use this one. So Pelikan Jazz Noble, and let's have a look. And that is with a medium nib, and the ink Pelikan Royal Blue. This ink reminds me a lot of Parker Quink Washable Blue. It's very similar. It's not a dark blue, but it's it provides some nice shading actually. So wetness, I think that's fair. Now, I mentioned that with the Celadon Cat I didn't get a great writing experience, and I can confirm that it is the ink. I think the Celadon Cat works best in probably a broad nib, because you need to put down a decent amount of ink for Celadon Cat to really, see the, the shading and everything that makes it such a beautiful ink. But this pen with Pelikan Royal Blue writes absolutely marvelous. It is very smooth. Would you get any line variation out of this? Probably not. And yeah, I can confirm this is a unflexible nib. It's not going to give you any line variation. It's pretty stiff, but I think that's to be expected. This section, I mentioned earlier that it's a bit narrow there, certainly more than some of my other pens, but I don't feel uncomfortable holding it. Also the chrome on the section, I'm not crazy about that. I have that on a few of my other pens, some of my Schaefer pens. Also my Lamy Studio has a shiny section. I always feel like this is going to cause, if you do a little bit of writing and your fingers sweat a little bit, it's going to become slippery and not so comfortable to hold. But the reality is I've actually never experienced that, even when I do a decent amount of writing. I think it's probably just my own bias. I grew up with pens with plastic sections, and I just prefer a plain plastic section. This is comfortable. There's absolutely nothing wrong there. I don't feel like the section is too narrow at all. In fact, it sits quite comfortably the way that I hold it. The pen keeps up with absolutely no problem at all. I think even if yes, ink flow, absolutely no problem, it keeps up, no skipping, no hard starting, and the nib is surprisingly smooth, I have to say. It has the tiniest bit of feedback, but almost nothing, you almost don't feel it. It's so smooth. So I think the nib is as good as it probably can get. So I'm actually very happy that I tried a different ink in this pen, because my experience with the Celadon Cat in here wasn't great, and it resulted in me not using this pen as much as I should or could. I think now that I have a different ink in here and I actually think it writes very well, I will definitely be using this pen a lot more. Would I recommend this pen? Well, for the price point, if I compare this to Pilot Metropolitan, Lamy Safari, yes, I think this pen definitely holds its own. It's I cannot find anything in the build quality, for example, that I can complain about. It's really well made. It looks good. The clip is well made. It's sturdy. It's really comfortable. It's actually very nice. It's so smooth. There's nothing sharp that's going to catch on your clothing or anything like that. It caps well. Very, very nice. Does it post? Now let's see. Yes, it posts secure enough. Definitely, it's not going to come off. Does it puts a little bit of weight on the back of the pen, but not too much. I think it would be very comfortable. So I really actually have nothing to complain about with regards to this pen. I think it's a really good value for money purchase. It's an entry-level pen, and I think for the price you actually get something really nice. I have some pens that are at least twice the price of this that actually it does not compare. So I think this is really good value for money. I think this is a pen that I wouldn't be, I would throw this in my bag or my pocket or whatever and not worry about it, because it's not that expensive, but it looks pretty decent. So it's a pen that I would, if I was going to, say, a meeting or something, I think it looks pretty professional. It's very neat. I wouldn't hesitate to carry this with me. So yes, I think at the price point, this is good value for money. It's got good build quality. Writing experience is actually very, very nice. I would recommend getting one of these. I have seen that there are different color options available. I think it would look really good in a black option as well, but for me this is really nice. Well, there you have it, Pelikan Jazz Noble. These are my first impressions, and perhaps much later, after I've used this pen for a while, I can do a more in-detail review, but I think this is good for now. Thanks for watching. Please remember to give this video a like if you found it useful, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Have a great week, everyone. See you next time.